All right, everyone. Hello and welcome to game number 6 of our 2025 JRDA Championships. This game is going to be Philly versus the Pixies, and it is sure to be a good game. These are playing to see who gets to go to the first place championship game, so high stakes here tonight.
Very much, and it has been a really jam-packed day, of Derby. And we're really excited for this game. Philly is fresh. They have not had to skate all day. The advantage of being the number 1 seed, of course, is that you get a bye for that first game during the day. Pixies skated earlier today against Columbia with an upset. Columbia really was the higher seed, and I think a lot of people expected Columbia to win, but I point out, when it's champs, we all play different.
Yes, Pixies put up a surprising fight, and they are coming off a win here, so fingers crossed to them. Real quick run down our rosters. The Pixies are in white, and they got number 000 Trisket, 13 Glitter Bomb, 14 Striking Viking, 1849 Gold Rusher, 188 Hell on Wheels, 222 Karma, 26 Sugar and Spite, 27 Firecracker, 3 Little Miss Savage, 426 Ace Hard Scare, 8 Powerhouse, and number 9 Brutal Beauty. And Glitter Bomb is your captain for that team.
And even though we're getting ready to start the next gem, on our next break I'll go through all of the Philly players. But for now, on the line is no Gus, no Glory. I love it. I've always loved his Derby name from the first time I saw him. He's been skating since he was quite young. And he is a senior. This will be his last championship game weekend. And as he fights out, Little Miss Savage being held up at the back of the pack, Gus trying to make his way past those very, very strong Pixie wall. And Gus out for the lead in this first jam of the game.
That was a great play there. We got some strong defense going on out here. And that's shown because he's hit out of bounds and run back by several Pixies blockers. Little Miss Savage is still fighting on the initial. Stuck behind a really incredible Philly tripod here, up in between turns 1 and 2. They're actually moving backwards now, not able to get any headway. This looks like this might be a very defensive game here, but we'll have to see how it's going once the blockers get tired.
And Gus trying to make his way there over on turn 2, getting some help from a friend.
Oh, that was a beautiful offensive play. Took out the brace of that tripod and got your Philly jammer through. But looks like Little Miss Savage had a star pass. That's 1849 Gold Rusher is your new Pixies jammer and successfully working on the first scoring pass now.
And, cap of a knee pad coming off there.
Yes, let's see if they're calling equipment malfunction or just let it run.
They really won't for that. Unless it's a mouth guard, they're not going to worry about it.
Yes, and that's lucky because both jammers just made it through. Gold Rusher working on the second scoring pass. No Guts, no Glory flying through on a third. Gets hit out, but is too fast to get run back. Takes one final hit from Miss Savage. That was, I think, an out-of-play hit, so Miss Savage is in the box. And Gold Rusher is now on the fourth scoring pass. Once again, through that pack effortlessly. We have not moved past turn number 3 in a while, and that is where we ended the game. That was 16 points to Philly and 7 points to the Pixies for a very exciting first jam.
Yeah, and just so you know, it is Gus, not no Guts, no Glory. No, Gus. Get the pun. Do you get the pun?
Right, the
His
puns.
name is
you
Gus.
Can't forget those. Those are half the point of Derby names.
All right. So as we've got no, we don't have much time here. We'll go through all the Philly players at some point when we have a timeout or something. Now we've got Trisket up on the line with Beasting jamming for Philly.
Trisket stuck in a tripod just in front of the jam line at the back of the pack. Beasting in a tripod at the pivot line. But our pack is stretching out. It's going to break soon enough. Or Trisket's going to push his tripod back up to Beasting.
So I'm watching that, and since I'm on streaming, I can say this, is that it looks, you see Trisket there almost looking like a punching into there with his forearm.
But he is in the box now, so it may have gotten called. I didn't see what his penalty was,
I think I saw a back block, so it actually wasn't a call for that. Although
Okay. But anyways, we have a power jam now. Bee Sting is the only jammer on the track and is on their first scoring pass. Is currently being pressured over the inside line of turn number 2 by an entire tripod. They are successful. However, they are not successful in running back very far. Does look like Philly might be trying to pull a no-pack situation here. Then gives that strategy up and comes in to destroy your Pixie tripod. Man, these Pixie blockers are not letting Bee Sting go. Our power jam has ended, and Bee Sting is still on their first scoring pass.
Yep, and there's a high block called on a Philly blocker.
Yes.
Bee Sting now out for 4 points.
It looks like we had a star pass here. Triscuit is now holding the star. Nope. I honestly can't tell who has the star on the Pixies because it is not on someone's head.
Yeah, it's in. Triscuit still has it in his hand.
Okay, it's still Triscuit is still the jammer and is holding that star. Is still on initial, and with 8 seconds left, I think he's going to be there for the whole jam. Yep, hit out of bounds and run back. And that is the end of our jam. Much more defensive jam than last time. 7 points to Philly and 0 points to Pixies. Poor Triscuit picking up a penalty and then not able to make it out on the initial at all. Our score is now 23-7 in favor of Pixies about 5 minutes into the game. Looks like Philly is putting up a really good fight here to take the win. I mean, you can never judge too early.
Figuring out who the jammer is.
They're in green? Yeah. Thank you. Okay, let me talk a little bit, sweetie. I love you, but...
You can have this jam.
Okay. All right. Sorry, we were just doing a little technical issues here. We have got... Who do we have? 188. Yes, we have Hell on Wheels out for lead. And that was a 0-0 jam on that one. Oh, no, 4 points for Pixies. And coming up on the line for Philly, we have Nia Callahan.
Yes, they're going up against, that's Little Miss Savage for the Pixies. Let's go back to our kind of trade-off. That was working really good.
Oh, okay, because you've mostly been doing it all.
I got a little carried away, my bad.
Okay, then you go.
Oh, all right, we are off. Little Miss Savage pushing a tripod forward at the back of the pack. Nia Callahan fighting it towards the front of the hack. Ooh, hard hit has him running down the outside line. I think that was a direction on the Pixie pivot who hit them. So Nia Callahan is back in the pack, but in the meantime, Little Miss Savage has made it through and picked up lead jammer. Looks like Nia Callahan fighting through here. There's one blocker left. Ooh, blocker has a very illegal hit there. That was like either a high block or a direction. Could have been both. But that penalty does get Nia Callahan through the pack here and on their first scoring pass. However, by the time they make it out, Little Miss Savage has just finished their first scoring pass and called the jam. So that was another 4 points to Pixies and 0 points to Philly.
All right. Coming up again, No Guts, No Glory for Philly against Gold Rusher for the Pixies. And this, what I probably will see to probably be a pretty tight game this whole game, but you never know. Things change very quickly in Derby. And Gold Rusher's trying to knock out Gus to drag him all the way back. But Gus says, no way, I'm jumping right back in. You're not going to do that to me. And Gold Rusher out for the lead. Listen, I've watched Pittsburgh play a lot of games, and you don't see Gus not get lead very often. It's very rare.
Yeah, Pixies have put up an incredibly surprising, amazing performance at the Nationals here.
They have, for sure. Gus, both jammers in a scoring position. And when I'm watching Gold Rusher, they're getting pretty close to blocking with the head. You see him get really low like that. At some point, jammers often get a blocking with the head when you see that. And now Gold Rusher out for 4 points. Gus at the top of the pack. It definitely seems like no pack happening. And Gus also out for 4 points. And Gold Rusher calling it off. And it looks like in the end that will be a 4-4 jam. Philly Philly in the lead by just 8 points at 27, and Pixies at 19.
Yes. What were the Pixies seeded at again coming into this tournament?
I think they were the fifth seed,
fifth or sixth. So they were coming in as one of the tail end teams, and now they're putting up an amazing fight for the championship game. So no one is more surprised than we are, and it is fun to watch. Speaking of Pixies doing a great job, we got Little Miss Savage as their jammer in this jam, but they are going up against Tenacious K, your Philly jammer, who just got lead. And is coming around now on the first scoring pass as Little Miss Savage makes it out of the pack. Two jammers about half a lap apart. Both scoring now. There goes Tenacious K past that final blocker with a great hit on the inside of turn number 2. But Little Miss Savage still makes it out unscathed, only half a lap behind Tenacious K. We're at 4-4 now. Both jammer entering their first scoring pass. Tenacious K being pushed by a Pixies tripod to the outside line, now the middle of the track. Little Miss Savage does not get hit though and actually laps him. Little Miss Savage may not have the lead, but they are in the front of the jammer race, and that causes Tenacious K to just call the jam off there. That was an 8-point jam for the Pixies and 7 points for Philly, so pretty rare you see the team that does not have lead getting more points than the team that does. So that was a pretty good performance there from Little Miss Savage.
Yep, you don't. That's not how you want things to go when you have lead. When I watch it, we've got no Gus on the line again, no Gus, no glory against Gold Rusher. I often see Philly plays a different style than a lot of teams out there, and I always think, well, that doesn't work. But they've been national champs for 3 years, so they have their style and it works.
Maybe they're on to something.
Yeah, because they've 3 national championships in a row, trying to head it for a 4th. And we've got a forearm called on one of the Pixie blockers, but 2 Pixie blockers going to the box at the same time here, giving Gus a little bit of life to go over, a little bit of help from friends. Gold Rusher still trying to make it out, looking tired for sure. Gus is out and scoring 4 points for Philly. And you'll see the Philly always watches their coaches, watches their, we've got Coach Brett on the side here with his flags. I don't know if you've ever seen those, Pinky, but we sometimes don't know what the flags mean. You'd think you could figure it out, and I honestly haven't figured out all of them. He has like 7 or 8 flags. Have you tried? Because I've tried.
It is one of the more complicated aspects of Derby for sure.
But one thing I know is that Philly really, really works on stamina in their training, and I think at this point they know they're fresh, and they see how tired Gold Rusher is. So
Gold Rusher is being held to an exhausted standstill here in turn number 1, and only being 10 minutes into the game. That is a little concerning looking at Pixies going forward.
Yeah, and you see now that Gold Rusher is taken off the star. And Philly, like I said, even if I don't think, has Gold Rusher gotten out of the pack yet? Still in the pack, right? Nice apex job.
Gold Rusher has made it out of the pack once. They're on their first scoring pass, and no Gus, no glory is on their 4th now, coming in for 16 points. Only 5 seconds left in the jam. It looks like he does not make it through before the end of the jam, but let's see how many points he gets there. Gold Rusher did hand the star off at the last second, made it out of the pack just in time for 4 points at the end of that game there. It looks like Philly did not get any points on the final pass. That was just a 12-point jam for them. So, about 15 minutes into the game now. Our score is Philly 46, Pixies 31. Pretty close game, but Philly has held, I think, the lead for most of the game now, so... And their stamina is looking better, so I might give it to Philly, but again, you never know with Derby. Anyways, out here now, we got Bee Sting for Philly going up against Little Miss Savage. Bee Sting is out, breaking the pack. Oh, Bee Sting is actually out to the penalty box. Little Miss Savage is the only jammer on the track. Bee Sting got a cut penalty. Can the Pixies make the most out of this power jam? We are about to see. It did look like they gave Bee Sting lead before they sent her to the box and closed off that initial pass. So when Bee Sting comes out of the box, they'll be scoring, and there's no lead in this game. Pixies took
And actually, I'm not sure. She probably got the cut before she got lead. However, there was a star pass, so there will be no lead assigned to anyone in this game.
Yes, we got a minute and 14 seconds left, and Pixies did have a successful star pass, so Powerhouse is your new Pixies jammer. And it looks like here's Beasting coming back onto the track here. Both jammers now on their first scoring pass and a minute left in the jam. These blockers are doing their very best to hold them. Powerhouse, though, getting hit out and run back on the inside corner by number 444 from Philadelphia. Your Pixies, Beasting has one blocker left to pass at the front of the pack. Finally spins out of play from them. Oh, they are still on the lead. So now they are scoring. Oh, it only took them a minute and a half, but they got there. Again, both jammers still on their first scoring pass. Very full box here. We got 2 blockers from each team in the box. 3 blockers from Philly now. One's being returned to the track until there's an open seat. There is now, so we should be back to the box. 8 seconds left in the jam. Philly, both teams are going to be in a bad spot at the start of this next jam. But in the meantime, both of them made 4 points on that one pass, but neither of them even made it to a second scoring pass there thanks to some great defense despite only having 2 blockers on the track from each team. So again, 4-point jam for each team, and each team only has 2 blockers on the track at the start of this next jam because there is a Pixie blocker that needs to report to the box now that a seat has opened up. We'll see if it's about to happen, though, because they have a tripod on the track.
All right, now up on the line, we have No Gus, No Glory. Oh, Coach Teflon was still out there. Oh, there's an official timeout happening here. I saw the coach from Philly go out there, so she may have asked a question enough for them to...
Yes.
You know, they're always, this is one of these times the officials sometimes need to check that they are tracking everything right, that we're tracking penalties. There's
Derby
a lot they're doing.
Very fast-paced.
Yeah.
So sometimes it takes a minute to take a breather and say, wait a minute, what just happened?
Yep.
If I had to take a guess, I would say this official timeout and talking to the Pixies coach or talking to the Philly coach might be about the player that should be returning to the box, but maybe I misread the situation. Again, we don't know what the officials are thinking. They are unique animals, creatures, but important ones.
Yep. Well, this is no one's doing an official review here. This is an official timeout, so they're kind of, it means that the officials also want to think things over. And that's something, well, I'm a ref myself, so sometimes we say, hey, wait, who had eyes on this? Let's talk this over. These are both, all right, that was the whistle to restart the game. And we've got No Gus, No Glory on the line for Philly and Hell on Wheels for the Pixies. All right, the jam is on. And like I said, there are just lots of people on the bench. And so with that one, that was a no pass, no penalty. Lead. They just awarded lead. I think the jam ref has to look for a second. There's sometimes the case where they're not sure if they passed everyone, but Gus did, and so was awarded lead. The star is off for the Pixies, and rough hit there. But this is a full contact sport.
Yes, but you know it's a fun hit when the audience collectively goes, ooh.
All right, those Pixie blockers trying to hold Gus back, which is no easy feat. But one thing I know about Gus is he does have a lot of stamina and is very, very good shape jammer for sure. Now Hell on Wheels is out and able to score. My bet is Gus will... Oh, looks like they're still running it. I'm seeing the blue flag. So they're going to run it a little longer. Philly has a tendency to do that, to wear out their opponents because they very much trust their athletes, their skaters, to have that stamina that's needed to keep going. And, forearm called on Gold Rusher with that little mix-up between him and Gus. And Gus continuing to score. We're right now at 8-4. Gus trying to come in for that 12 points. and managing to stay in bounds so well, except Brutal Beauty making that final push, pushing Gus out of bounds, forcing him to call it off. I saw Brutal Beauty in this game earlier, and you know what? Don't let her size fool you. She is brutal.
All right, looking like that's going to be a 12-8 jam in favor of Philly. We're over a quarter of the way into the game now with 13 minutes left on the clock, and our current score is Philly 62, Pixies 43. Philly has held a pretty consistent lead so far, but the Pixies are not too far behind. Looks like we got Triple O Triscuit jamming for the Pixies, going up against Nia Callahan, who has made it out of the pack before I even finished the introductions. Callahan's coming around now on the first scoring pass. Triscuit still held in a tripod at the back of the pack. Callahan does get hit out and cycled back to the jam line, but is once again pushing out the pivot. She got one blocker left to pass, but doesn't look like that blocker slowed her down enough for the others to catch up. Meanwhile, Triscuit finally shakes off that tripod, makes it through the pack, and is coming around now on their first scoring pass. I can hear the coach desperately screaming for the Philly jammer to call it off before he hits the pack, and that is heard because there goes the call of that jam. 4 points to Philly and 0 points to Pixies.
All right, coming up, back up on the line is Gus for Philly and Little Miss Savage for Pixies. I believe both of them are in Team USA.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
This will be a fun jam for sure then.
Yeah, so they'll be heading to Australia in a couple of weeks because the weekend after this next coming weekend is the JRDA Worlds in being held in Australia. So that's going to be a really great trip. Gus making up here trying to push out that pack, making to the top. Triscuit's a double threat, both a good blocker and a good jammer. Double threat, not triple threat, double threat when it comes to Derby. And Gus still trying to push his way, but starting to drag out the pack. And Gus still, at some point I think they're going to be out of play. And Gus there finally getting the lead. But being held for that, that was almost 40 seconds there. And now Star has been passed to Triscuit 0-0-0.
There's that double threat coming into play.
Yep, it is. Yep. And a high block called on someone. I feel like they haven't heard it yet. Oh, high block on Powerhouse. Now heading to the box. Gus still making his way here on a scoring pass. And I see from Coach Brett that they are saying to continue to run this. And we've got 8 points on Philly. Philly trusts their blockers to continue to hold back that jammer. And it's true. They still are holding them, and Gus is out for another 4 points. And taking this to a 12-point jam for Gus. I will tell you, I don't know how many Philly games you've watched. I've watched Gus get 40-point-plus jams before. Triscuit's now out and now 8 points for Triscuit. And still running it. And just only 8 seconds left. We're almost to the natural end to this jam. And someone is getting, oh no. Gus now getting a penalty. So Pixies will get a really nice, long, full 30-second power jam to start the next jam.
Yes, that was a very high point jam there, but from both teams. 16 points to Philly, but 12 points to Pixies. Like I said, Philly is holding a good lead, but Pixies are not letting them get too far ahead. I think it really comes down to which team's going to come out stronger in the second half, and unfortunately for Pixies, they already have a game under their belts today, and it was a hard game if you guys were watching it. So
very much so.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game to see the rest of it. I am real excited. Okay, so we're gonna have a power start for the Pixies. It's gonna be almost a full 30 seconds. It looks like they're putting out 1849 Gold Rusher for their jammer, so fingers crossed to him. Going to make a great jam here. Maybe catch Pixies up to Philly a bit, close the point gap. But both team also has one blocker in the box, so again, a pretty full penalty box. We've had a lot of penalties in this game so far, actually. We're sitting at 15 penalties for Philly and 11 penalties for Pixies, which is a lot considering We're
That
only
is
20 minutes
a
in the
lot.
game.
And now that we've got this little break, I will introduce the rest of the Philly skaters, because we didn't get to do that before we started here. But playing for the Philly today is 04 Insanity, number 1 Nia Callahan, number 10 Tenacious K, 10-14 No Gus No Glory, 1-6 Stay in Your Laney, 180 I Roll, number 21 Pippa Reagan, number 26 Bad Blood, 3377 Bee Sting, 37 Holly Blockett, 444 Smashiopia, number 69 Steampunk, 72 Chicky Kills, and finally number 99 Soul Crusher.
Ooh, I apologize, Nia Callahan. I've been pronouncing your name wrong so far. That's my bad. All right,
Luckily, she can't hear us.
I don't know. Sometimes I like to watch the stream back to see how I play.
Oh yeah, no, my
Anyways.
I know lots of skaters always rewatch the game. Literally, sometimes right after the game is over, as soon as it's posted, they rewatch it.
Yes. All right, back on to our game here. That's just getting started. Again, we have Gold Rusher jamming with a full 30-second power start and a blocker from each team in the box. Here comes Gold Rusher, getting lead pretty easy thanks to some awesome offense from his team. That only took him 7 seconds to get lead, so that's always a good start to see. All right, there he goes. First scoring pass, unscathed. They not even get a hit in on him, thanks to his blockers coming in for some good offense. Looks like Gus is standing in the box, so they got 10 seconds left to try to get a couple more passes in while this power jam is in play. All right, here comes Gus, is out of the box. And now facing off against a Pixies tripod. But Gold Rusher has made it through the pack again for 8 points now. Only 40 seconds into the jam. That's a pretty good start. However, Gus has made it out on initial, so is on his first scoring pass as well. All right, Gold Rusher makes it out of the pack for another 4 points and calls the jam there. Looks like Gold Rusher your Philly jammer Gus was able to pick up 2 points at the end of the jam there, but does not match up to Pixies' 12 points that Gold Rusher was able to put onto the board. Helping close our point gap a little bit because it's 67-85 now for Philly.
And it's still, this game is extremely close. Up on the line, we have Little Miss Savage for Pixies against 1-0 Tenacious K.
Next up, we've got number 10.
And I think Pixies only brought about 12 skaters, which is a really low amount of people to bring. It means that you're going out every other jam at least when you're down to only 12 skaters. And so that's why you see a lot of people double duty as blockers and as a jammer. But they're doing well. And there we go. Little Miss Savage out for lead jammer. Tenacious K getting hit out by Powerhouse, but they both go out, so she is able to still keep going. Takes a smart jammer to know if your initiator went out with you, and to be smart enough to know you don't have to recycle back if they went out with you. And then
Yes.
Little Miss Savage calling off that jam, and it looks like she was able to squeeze out 2 points and 0 points for Philly.
Yes, and those smarts are generally called track awareness. At least that's what my coach calls it. And these players are doing a great job with it. It's always fun to see when you're thinking, oh, you should do this, and then the player does it. And you're like, how did you know that? I would not have known that if I was on the track, but look at you go. All right, looks like our penalties have slowed down a little, which is nice. We only have one blocker in the box right now, and that is from the Pixies. Having a quick team timeout here called by Philly, and it does look like the coaches are using that little breather to talk.
And let's give a shout out to our officials.
Of course.
We've got Stack Trace here. Someone is a friend of mine from Denver. Officially Mel, Mortal Comcat, Sarah Dactyl, who is on their 300th game this weekend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is a lot of games.
Yep. Thorn, Zookeeper, another friend of mine, Goofy, Wednesday, Cute, Adams, and Numbskull.
And our skating officials are real quick because the game's getting started. Johnny Demonic, Shebra, Judge Double Wapner, Whisk, Shrimp and Roll, Jekyll and Sides, and Extra Crispy. All right, thank you, officials. I know you can't hear me, but we're sending good vibes your way.
10-14,
All right, we got number 3, Little Miss Savage, wearing the star for the Pixies. And I think that's Gus for Philly, but I can't see the number.
It is.
That is Gus. Look at me go. I can
recognize him just
people.
by his stance. he's a tall
All right.
guy.
Yes, both jammers trapped on the outside line at the start of this jam, but it breaks pretty quickly as a Philly blocker is sent to join that Pixie blocker in the box. 3 blockers on the track right now for each team, but they are not letting them slow their defense down at all. We're at 20 seconds now. They've been held on initial, and of course, as soon as I say it, there goes Gus running down the outside of turn number 1 to get lead jammer. Little Miss Savage still fighting in the pack here. Blockers trying to come to assistance, but they are run back all the same. Gus is now fighting on their first scoring pass. They got 2 blockers left to pass who are trying to push him out, but he is too stable on the skates and stays inbounds, picking up the first 4 points of the jam. Little Miss Savage passes the star off to Gold Rusher, who just had a very successful 12-point jam. Let's see if he can keep that going now as he comes around on the first scoring pass for the Pixies. Looks like Gus is being held a little more successfully this time. Oh, of course, as soon as I say that, he gets through. There goes Gus getting another 8 points for Philly.
He's here to prove you wrong.
Yes, every time you say, this is going to be the last jam, they're not going to get any more points. It happens. Announcer's curse. Both jammers stuck in the pack right now. Gold Rusher still on their first scoring pass and Gus on their third. And there goes Gold Rusher. 4 points now for the Pixies, and it's coming around now to join Gus on the second. Nope, they're on their second. Gus is still on the third. Both hitting the pack. Our pack is now moved up to in between the jam and pivot lines. Got 20 seconds left in this jam. It may end naturally. We've been having some longer jams this game, which is nice. And there goes Gold Rusher picking up 8 points now, joins Gus on the third scoring pass, and Gus just calls the jam there. That was 12 points for Philly and 8 points for the Pixies. Philly is now at 97 points, which is only 3 points away from 100, which is less than 1 scoring pass, so it might happen this next jam. Yep. Very fun landmark to hit as a team, especially in a big, important game like this.
Oh, wow. I see now there are 2 Pixie blockers in the box. I saw Powerhouse go in before the end of that last jam with a back block and then a late call for some other sort of penalty against another Pixies blocker. All right, up on the line we have, as we get back to Derby, much longer they would have to have the kids warm up again. It's no Gus, no glory against Triscuit for the Pixies. And Gus making some nice footwork there and getting out for the lead. Triscuit still being held up by that really strong Philly wall. And I've seen a lot of, it's always hard. It's easier to watch for penalties when you're sitting still. But I'm seeing a lot of poor playing, and sometimes looks like almost a punch. But who knows? We've got a good ref crew here that are keeping an eye. It's really, really hard to see everything. And Triscuit's still being held up going into more than 30 seconds of this jam. And you could just, gosh, that Philly wall is just brutal. Oof. And there's Gus going in now for 12 points on this jam. Philly wants to go into this second half, end this half in a winning position, spreading out that lead. I will tell you, when you get behind with Philly, it is very difficult to catch up and make up anything can happen, but with the strength of their team, I have not seen people very often ever come back from a deficit that they're looking at even right now. But we've seen a lot go on in this jam. This is probably one of the higher point jams this time, and it's 16 and now 20-point jam for Gus.
And 30 seconds left still.
Yeah. And Triscuit now finally made it out of the pack, putting his star back on. And Gus probably making it in for that another 4 points. Passing glitter bomb there in this last pass. And it looks like they're going to continue to run it. They're not worried about if Triscuit gets any points from this jam, they'll be hard fought, and they trust Gus to get out of the pack. Gus is a smart player, has very good track awareness, and then that's the natural end of the jam, running it the full 2 minutes.
Yeah, that was a crazy jam there. 25 points for Philly and 0 for Pixies. Philly took that long time out to have a moment of self-reflection, and they were like, the score should not be as close as it is. They've
Yep.
actually brought themselves into the land of triple digits now. 122 to Philly and 77 to Pixies. Like we said, this is a game of stamina, and Philly has fresh legs. Only so much you can do against that, for sure. All right, Little Miss Savage against Bee Sting here in jam number 16. Less than 2 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock here, so this could be the last jam if it runs the full 2 minutes. I kind of doubt it will, though. However, we have some impressive blocking going on here. 20 seconds in, both jammers are being held, but our tripods just got broken apart in turn number 2, and they're exiting that turn onto the long side now. So let's see if the jammers can make the most out of that confusion to get through the pack. They can! That is a Little Miss Savage getting lead jammer. Can she pick up the points that her team lost in the last jam? We're about to see. Bee Sting is not going to make it easy, though, because that's your Philly jammer out only a quarter track behind Little Miss Savage. And they're both hitting the pack now on their first scoring pass in between the jam and pivot line. I've got a minute left in the jam here, so much more low points this time than last time, that's for sure. But there goes Little Miss Savage. First 4 points of the jam going to the Pixies. Bee Sting is still fighting here. These Pixies, they were like, we lost 25 points. That's not happening again. They have stepped up the blocking here, holding the pack almost to a standstill in between turns 1 and 2. But Little Miss Savage now stuck behind a Philly tripod at the back of the pack, which as a jammer, one of the worst places you can be. You just do not want to see yourself there because you've got so much time for these players to keep on reforming in front of you. And unfortunately, it looks like all 4 of her players, her blockers, are all playing defense against Bee Sting, which has been successful so far because they held Bee Sting to 4 points for that whole jam there. Bee Sting never made it out for a second scoring pass, so I mean, credit where credit is due. The Pixies pulled off 6 points on that jam, and Bee Sting pulled off 4. 38 seconds left in the half here. Oh, we're calling an official review. I'm not sure which team. Oh, nope, it looks like they're...
I think they're using their official review as a timeout.
Got it. All right, so yeah.
Because they'll get another official review in the
Yes.
next half, so
All
they
right,
might as well
sorry.
use it now and save the timeouts for
Sorry,
later.
it took me a minute to figure out what's going on there because our on-track announcers, we can hear those guys. They're like, it's a team timeout, but then everyone's like, it's an official review. It is a team timeout. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, they're just using their official review
Yes, as a team timeout. In case
Yeah.
any of you didn't know this, the official reviews reset each half. So if you lose your official review, you get a new one at the start of the next half, like what will happen to Philly. However, your timeouts do not reset. So Philly is using the resettable timeout instead of the one that does not reset. It's strategy. I guess it works pretty good.
Next up on the line, we've got Gold Rusher for the Pixies and Gus up on the line for Philly. And they match each other close in size, both big guys and Powerhouse trying to pull through. And gets a cut, which I can see from here. And that means that Gus gets a 30-second power jam. You do not want to give Philly, and especially Gus, a 30-second power jam.
You can see Gus celebrating here like power jam.
Yes. You can't help it. This is an exciting game, and you're going to be excited for those power jams.
All right, there's 4 points from Gus coming around now on the second scoring pass.
All right. Yep. Up there on turn 1. Pixies trying to hold back, to not let them score too much during this power jam. Gus out for 4 more. And that is the end of the period clock for this first half. So this will be the last jam. 8 points, Gus going for 12. Powerhouse trying to make it out on their initial, and he has done that. And Powerhouse now out and able to score. Gus is out as well. Obviously getting with another 4 points, getting up to 12 points on this jam. Wow. That Philly blocker tried to stop Powerhouse, Gold Rusher, but Gold Rusher rushed right through. And Gus getting recycled here, but still running it. The blue flag, I think, means to keep running it.
Gold Rusher is just plowing people down, trying to get those points.
Yeah, no, it's difficult to. It is difficult to stop him. And now Gus coming back in, already at 16 points. They really want to widen that lead as they go into the half. There is just 20 seconds left in this jam. And I see Gus looking to his coach to make sure, hey, am I doing what I need to do? Again, that's a great try. We want our players to be looking to the third base coach to know when to call. And now I think they're going to let this jam come to its natural end. And here we go. That is the end of this jam and intermission. You know, this is a whole 30 minutes of Derby. Anything can happen in this 30 minutes. However, knowing Philly's history, knowing the strength of their team, I have not seen a team come back from that kind of deficit over Philly. But with this weird long break for second half, oops, you never know. But there we go. Gus is out and got an out for lead for Philly in this first jam and the second half. Ooh. And Gold Rusher also out and able to score. As we said at the end of the first half, there's nobody on more than 4 penalties as starting this half, so nobody in too much of danger, but they do have an entire half to get into that danger. Last year at Champs, I saw in a Pixies FOCO game 2 egregious penalties within a very short stint of time, and that has not happened, which I'm very glad, because if there's an egregious penalty, it means someone got hurt, so I'm glad that has not happened.
For sure. An egregious penalty is probably the worst thing that can happen in Derby other than like a straight up injury. So
yeah, glad
to see none of those. It means the players are in control.
Exactly. And so this is going to, wow, just falling. This is what I call messy. And both hands and skates went out. So Gold Rusher will have to go back, getting recycled if that. And Gus still working his way. I think, Gus already, you know what? I barely blinked my eyes, and Gus has 12 points already, working on 16. And I would say he's probably passed all 4 of these jammers already, and now he's continuing to work, trying to work his way past them, getting very close to a high block there, but did not get one. This view, you know, when they come around to this turn 3, boy, it's easy. We really have the best view, and they're kind of stuck here at turn 3.
Yes.
And Gus attempts at apex, but I saw both landed out of bounds. He knew it. Good skate awareness. So he recycled himself back after not making that apex jump. And he is at 16 points. Pixies at 8. And Gus goes ahead and calls that off. Let's see how many points he got before the call off. It looks like 3. So that'll be a 19-point jam over 8. So, again, they're stretching their lead here to 67. And I would, with the strength of their team, I would find it hard to believe that Pixies could turn this around. But I know they will fight to the end because they are not a team that gives up.
Yes, Philly may win this one, but the Pixies are certainly making them work for it. Looks like we got Little Miss Savage here wearing the star for the Pixies, going up against...
Probably Bee-Sting.
Bee-Sting, thank you. Got some strong defense right on the line here. The 2 jammers initially being pushed over the jam line. Then cycled back. That's Little Miss Savage going back almost into turn number 3, actually. Bee-Sting has pushed their way to the front of the pack, currently fighting a tripod over the pivot line. We had an offensive jam last time. It looks like we're having a defensive one this time. It's been 30 seconds and no lead. Our pack has moved out onto turn number 1. Bee-Sting fighting a tripod in turn number 1. Little Miss Savage fighting a tripod over the pivot line. Oh, we got a break. A penalty was called. That was a Pixies blocker in the box. I think on a multiplayer, but don't quote me on it. Bee-Sting has 1 blocker left to face off with, having pushed the blockers out one by one, bridging them until they break, and they did, because there's Bee-Sting with lead jammer. Only took a minute of the jam, but they're here now on their first scoring pass, and man, they put all of their fight into that initial pass because Bee-Sting just flies through the pack. That's 4 points for Philly. We now have 2 Philly blockers in the box and 2 Pixie blockers in the box, 1 Philly blocker in the box. So the lighter pack is definitely making it easier for Bee-Sting. And your Pixies, who successfully pull off a star pass and have Karma as their new jammer, headed out here on their first scoring pass with 30 seconds left in the jam. A multiplayer call has your ex-jammer, Little Miss Savage, in the penalty box. We got 2 Pixie blockers doing their best to hold back Bee-Sting on the second scoring pass. Is fairly successful because they hold them until the end of the jam. That was 8 points for Philly and 3 points for Pixies there. Yeah, pretty defensive jam there. Our pack only moved up into turn number 3 in the whole almost, maybe even a full 2-minute long jam. So strong defense there.
All right. Coming up now, Hell on Wheels against Gus. No Gus, no glory for Philly. And we are heading into jam number 3 of this half. And Gus working his way on the inside line, managing to stay inbounds and getting lead and really skating fast. Such a strong skater. And still Hell on Wheels, still being held up by that Philly wall. Trying to break its way out, stretching out that pack. Oh, there's been a star pass to Gold Rusher. Oh, wait. Oh, blocking with the head. You know, earlier I think I was telling you that.
Yeah,
Pixie,
he's pretty top heavy. Keeps leaning forward and finally took a penalty for it.
Yeah, I was wondering earlier. It felt like he was getting close, and now this time the refs felt like, nope, now you're not. It's not close. You are blocking with the head, which is not allowed.
Turns out you can't hit people with your helmet. Who knew?
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. Funny thing. Although our Denver coach, she always says to me, Derby's too complicated, because it is. She makes a joke once. We already have 7 refs on skate. Why not have 10? And one ref follows every skater. One ref per skater.
I do not want to see a no-pack situation when they try to call off failure to reform when there's 1 ref per skater. You'd have the whole team in the box.
Well, it's like, hey, everyone will be getting watched, you know? And we've got Gus now going over with 12-point jam, and another strong jam for him. I believe Gold Rusher is just now out on a scoring pass, probably getting 4 right there. Oof.
Ooh, that was a beautiful duck and run there from Gus. Somehow,
Yes.
or from Gold Rusher, somehow keeping his feet under himself to pick up 4 points.
I know. There's some really, really hard hits here, and he's still getting really low with that head, and I think it's because he's probably feeling tired.
I cannot blame him, man. All right, that jam was called off with only 8 seconds left on the clock, so another almost 2-minute-long jam. Another successful jam for Philly. You know, what do you know it? 19 points to them and 7 points to Pixies. So not unsuccessful, but just not able to keep up with the Philly offense.
And now taking that lead to 80-point lead. That'd be pretty hard to overcome that in any situation.
Yes, especially with only about 20 minutes left on the clock here. We do have 1 player with 5 penalties now from Philly, so we'll keep an eye on that for you guys. Meanwhile, our next jam is off. That's Callahan versus Trisket. Trisket pushing out. They got 1 blocker left to pass. Oh, but unfortunately that pack catches back up to them, and they got 3 blockers now. They do hit Trisket out and run him back into turn number 1. And it looks like Callahan's taking a penalty. I missed what the penalty was. Did you catch it, Ginger?
I did not. I was just watching the action over here with Trisket.
Yes,
and
okay, well, power jam, and like you said, Trisket's having some good action. Well, I guess you didn't say it, but it was implied.
And although the initiator went out, Trisket does have to go behind some of the blockers that remained in bounds.
Yes,
was
so
recycled and is denied that apex jump.
Yes, these blockers are making him work for it. A full power jam just went by, and Trisket was unable to get lead jammer. So let's see if he'll be able to get it, or if it'll run a full 2 minutes if Callahan gets out first.
No, actually, Callahan get out first. Callahan won't get lead.
I know, but yeah,
he can still get
You're
lead.
right. I confused myself.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, he can still get lead because he has not gotten a penalty and lead has not been called.
Yes. Okay, there goes Callahan. 4 points. Trisket still on initial. Got 44 seconds left, and get this, 3 Pixie blockers in the box.
Wow. And also right now, Trisket has taken off his star, so therefore now it will be a 2-minute jam.
All right, and Callahan here just made a beautiful pass through on their 3rd scoring pass. Our pack not really moving. We're still only just coming out of turn number 2. Callahan's coming around on the 4th scoring pass, really making the most out of this light pack of Pixies, because at one point 3 of them were in the box, and they're just cycling through. One of them got out, another one went in. There's still 2 of them in the box. And that's showing for Callahan skating, because they're about to pick up another 5. They did get good hit out on the outside of turns 2 and 3. Ooh, takes a fall. I think their blockers not getting a penalty for that. Okay, so clean hit from Karma. That was, unfortunately, a 0-point jam for the Pixies. Trisket just never able to make it out on that initial despite the power jam. And Philly, again, despite the power jam, able to pick up 19 points, bringing their score to 211. Personally, Yeah, that's what it's at. It's 211 to 112. That's kind of a satisfying score, to be honest. We are back, you guys, and it was not 30 minutes long. All right, we got Gus going up this time against Gold Rusher. Gus gets lead, per usual, before I can even finish introducing them. He's flying around now to start the first scoring pass when Gold Rusher makes it out of the pack. Gus, again, through the pack without even taking a hit. That's 4 points for Philly. Gold Rusher does take a hit in the pack, but he's fighting really good to get the points for the Pixies. Like I said, the Pixies may be going down, but they are not going down easy. They have some incredible skating here. And there goes Gold Rusher, 4 points for the Pixies, and Gus coming around on the third scoring pass for your black team. Forgot my colors for a second. He's actually caught at a tripod this time. Look at that. Gus is being held. That is a feat for the Pixies there. He's being held right now on turn number 3. Gold Rusher being held in between turns 2 and 3 by a tripod. Tries to skate around the outside, but gets run back. Looks like he's upset at a referee about something. He was kind of talking to him, and the jam just ended.
And here we go. There we go. The whistle is off. And Gus, because it's an injury continuation, it's immediate scoring for Gus.
Yes, and we started the game with the jam with only 45 seconds left, so we'll be done in 30 seconds anyway.
No matter what. And also, Pixies were also in scoring position when that was called off, so both players began in scoring position.
Yes, and they both got 4 points, and they're both on their second scoring pass. Look at that. All right, 20 seconds left. How is it going to go?
And
Gus just got hit out and run back.
Yep.
And Hell on Wheels just stole his spot on the outside line.
And Gus calls it off. One thing about Gus is he's very patient. He doesn't really get frazzled much. When you've been playing as long as he has, I think he's learned he's got a good mental game. I've noticed that because I've seen him play a lot. And I think the first time I saw him play, he was only like 14, and he was about the same height he is now. And when they told me this kid, they were like, oh my, who is that guy? They're like, he's only 14. I was like, are you kidding me at 6 feet tall? So here we go. Off to you, Pinky.
All right, thank you. We got Tenacious K for Philly going up against Little Miss Savage for the Pixies. Little Miss Savage caught a terrible kind of a basket catch there on the inside of the jam line. Run back at the back of the pack. Tenacious K, though, fighting out the front. These blockers not giving them any breathing room here, just pushing her over the line over and over again. But she's at the front of the pack, so it is only a matter of time before she either stretches them out of play or gets run back, and it looks like getting run back is what happened there, luckily for the Pixies. Again, a good defensive initial. We're over 30 seconds into the jam, and neither jammer has made it through. Oh, I got the hiccups. Those are the worst. But here goes Tenacious K, a lead jammer for Philly, 45 seconds into the jam. Let's see if she can keep up this here and get 4 points quickly. Yes, they can. There goes Tenacious K. First 4 points of the jam for Philly. And it looks like we got 2 Philly blockers in the box right now, so a very low pack here on Little Miss Savage. Hopefully she can get through the pack with that. But these two, they are not giving up. They are just holding them. And, of course, as soon as I say it, there Little Miss Savage goes. Finishing initial 1 minute and 15 seconds into the jam. And you know what? This is what I'm saying with the ability to just keep going. That is some admirable strength right there. Tenacious K getting caught a little better on the blockers this pass around. They're still on their second scoring pass and cannot make it through. Our pack made a full lap around the track that time, finishing it up right over the pivot line. So they were kind of moving with the defense there. That was a 6-point jam for Philly and a 4-point jam for the Pixies. Sorry, I had to wait a minute there for the refs to throw the points up. Oh my God, a timeout. Team timeout. That's great. We need more timeouts, right? We love those.
Well, while we're at that, it looks like 444 is at 6 penalties. You can see the computer better than me.
Yes.
One more penalty, and they will be out of the game.
Yes.
They will have fouled out.
So and that is a player from Philly, too. So 444, Smashiopia. one penalty away from fouling out, and with 16 minutes left in the game, that could very much happen. Speaking of which, 15 minutes left in the game. Our current score is Philly 237 to Pixies 130. Our point gap is officially over 100. I think the Phillies might be bringing it home and bringing it straight into the championship game, so I'm very excited to cover that one.
And I think, they have a lot of seniors this year, so it'll be nice for those seniors to have a championship game.
It will, yes.
It's, juniors, it's very bittersweet when they age out.
Yes, our team lost a lot of players this year, and I miss them.
Yeah, but Adult Derby is there for them.
Yes. Anyways, the nice thing about team timeouts is that they end at 1 minute. So our team timeout has ended. We are getting back on the track. We got 188 Hell on Wheels going up against, you guessed it, No Gus, No Glory. I think it's your jam, Ginger.
All righty. And Gus making it out to the front of the pack. That Philly wall holding Hell on Wheels, trying to juke his way out while Gus has gotten lead, getting out and away from Powerhouse. And now Hell on Wheels also out of the pack and able to score. Pack is running, making those refs to keep up, making sure they keep up their exercise today. And Gus here on the outside line right in front of us. And I always think it's dangerous. I'm going to tell you a little tip from Derby. Don't hold your arms up. It's so easy to get a high block because hitting someone with the helmet, you do not need to have any impact. If your arm hits their helmet, it's a high block. So I recommend don't throw your arms up. And now making some room for Gus. It looks like we've got 2 Philly blockers on the bench, one Pixie blocker. And Gus says, I'm going to do my own blocking and drag back. And you know what? Gus can, waste all the time. Honestly, the Pixies should not be wasting this time. I mean, they're not going to win this game. But right now, they're like, just let it rest. Because the Pixie Jammer will have to come in behind Gus. And it is in Philly's best interest to waste time because they're winning.
Yes, you always want to run the clock down if you're ahead so there's less time for the other team to catch up to you.
Yep. And right now, Gus is waiting for his blockers to get out of the box because even though they're ahead, they don't want to. They'd like to get their blockers out so they have a full wall. This makes me think of a story. So we were playing a game. Actually against a Texas team in a tournament, and it was funny because they did something where they knocked the jammer out and they were trying to drag our jammer back, and we were ahead. So we were fine with them wasting clock time. Like, we're the ones who are ahead. Waste all the time you want. If you're behind, we don't want to waste time. And now we're at, Gus is at 8 points and calls off the jam.
I actually think that jam ended naturally.
Oh, did I saw Gus also hit his hips.
Oh,
so it could have been right at the 2 minute mark.
Perfect timing there. I wonder what they count that one as. Oh, and look at that, you guys, an official review.
Oh, they were looking for Pixies was looking for illegal contact on the person making the apex jump, but that was denied, and they lost their official review.
Hey, that's something we don't have to sit through. Look at that. Again, don't want players to lose their official review, but if they do, we don't have to sit through them anymore. This is my jam now. Let's see who we got. That's number 2, Little Miss Savage for the Pixies.
And then
number 3, sorry.
And Bee Sting.
And Bee Sting from Philly. Okay, Little Miss Savage stuck on a tripod at the back of the pack about halfway between the jam and pivot line. Bee Sting, though, pushing out the pack to the front. They get lead and finish their initial and then a forearm penalty. So this jam will be the full 2 minutes. That's 2 minutes that they can't
Well,
call
it depends. If they may have gotten the penalty before lead was assessed. So chances are, so let's wait and see.
Yes, looking at the scoreboard, they gave him initial and lead on the scoreboard, but we don't know how that plays out. It doesn't always work like that. Good call there, Ginger.
Just because I have jam refed more than anything, so
yes.
I'll say that.
Yes, and you may be like, guys, why are you talking about things other
Little
than
Miss
what...
Savage took off her star, so therefore, no matter what, no lead jammer.
Yes. And you may be like, guys, why are you talking about things that aren't what's happening on the track? That's because not much is happening on the track. We're at a standstill here. The pack is still on the pivot line, and nobody has made it through. In the meantime, though, Bee Sting makes it out of the box through the pack, does not get lead because no lead, and is now on their first scoring pass, 50 seconds left in the jam. And Little Miss Savage got a penalty. I missed what it was, but they're in the box now, so that is another power jam now, this time in favor of Philly, and another 4 points going to Bee Sting. 30 seconds left in the jam here. Let's see what this is going to wrap up as. Got a strong Pixie tripod here, holding Bee Sting almost to a standstill. Someone just took a penalty. Was one of the Pixie blockers, but Bee Sting gets knocked out over the line, does not go out. Both jammers are now out of the box. Bee Sting on their second scoring pass. Little Miss Savage, unfortunately, still on initial. And there's the end of the jam. That was a full 4-point pass for your Philly jammer. So 8 points for Philly and 0 for Pixie. And not sure, it looks like that jammer who was at 6 just fouled out. That's number 444 from Philly.
Yeah, I don't think they're a jammer. They're blockers.
Yes, sorry. I'm tired, if
You're
you guys
fine.
can't tell. Smashiopia just fouled out for Philly, so... but they did. Somebody else took their place on high penalties. That's number 180 from Philly. Eye roll is now at 5. So 1 player at 6, 2 at 5, and 1 has fouled out. And passing it off to you, Ginger.
And Trisket out for the lead, actually against no Gus, no Glory. And Gold Rusher taking out Gus and trying again to take out Gus. And Gus keeping his cool, working his way through that pack. Trisket is on a scoring pass, but encountering that Philly wall, which is unforgiving and unflappable. And Gus now out and able to score. Trisket still trying to, probably has already gotten the 4 points because of switching around different things. Trisket hoping to get a hit on to Gus and doesn't.
Yes. Anyways, we're back
to
now.
you.
Yes, it is Karma for the Pixies going up against number 1 Nia Callahan for Philly. Callahan gets hit out and cycled back, whereas Karma is just kind of stuck in a tripod in the middle of the pack here. Got 1849 Gold Rusher, like almost solo blocking Callahan here at the back of the pack, hitting them out again. I think that might be the 3rd time he's run them back in this jam so far. Impressive blocking, you could say the least, but fun little hop from Callahan.
Yeah,
Finally
nice.
has her around Gold Rusher's back. In the meanwhile, Karma is just stuck on the ground in the back of a tripod. They've pushed the tripod to the front of the pack, which is nice, but, this tripod is stationary. However, Callahan just made it through the pack almost 50 seconds into the jam and got lead, and hopefully this break can give some of the Pixie blockers a chance to help their jammer out. Fortunately, it does not look like that because Karma is still stuck on initial as Callahan hits on their first scoring pass. However, once again, Gold Rush hits out Callahan, runs him back. They catch up, hits them out, runs them back again. Gold Rusher is making poor Callahan skate in like a mini laps on the track here. Karma is still stationary at the back of a tripod. They have pushed this tripod all the way out into the end of turn number 2, but they're not juking, they're not really seesawing up and down much. The brace has actually let go at the front of this tripod.
It is so strong, the brace can let go of the other 2.
Yes, it
which
definitely
is
looks
unreal.
like the fatigue is hitting the blockers and not the jammers. Again, Gold Rush just hit out Callahan again. Callahan is getting angry, throwing fists up in the air, making angry faces at him. Decides to just call the jam off. Kudos, Gold Rush. I think you just solo held that jammer. Only let him go once for an entire almost 2-minute jam.
That's rough.
Yeah, and shows, you were talking about Trisket being a double threat earlier. It looks like,
I'll just take over
Gold
from
Rush,
there.
sorry,
Yeah.
I am tired, you guys. Looks like Gold Rush is also a double threat there, blocking and jamming.
Absolutely. All right, now up on the line, we have Bee Sting for Philly and Little Miss Savage for the Pixies again. Oof. When it gets to that first turn, it's harder for us to see with all the reps,
Referees.
but Little Miss Savage out for lead. Bee Sting trying to get past Powerhouse and does it. And she is now out and able to score. And the Philly wall is just, it's brutal. And I tell you, I just heard a forearm called on a Philly blocker. And they're rushing to the box because the quicker you get there, the less time you have, because that time serve doesn't start till the butt hits the chair. And we've got Bee Sting here going up against Powerhouse, and Little Miss Savage just swinging right by. Yeah, we've had some great offensive help from the
Hell on Wheels that just broke apart that tripod for Little Miss Savage.
nice. And Little Miss Savage now, I think, score at definitely 4. I thought those, going into this second scoring pass.
We're all tired.
And getting recycled just a little ways.
Hell on Wheels really going crazy with the offense, hitting blockers left and right, single-handedly getting Little Miss Savage through the pack for a third time.
Is it? I just
initials for scoring, second scoring.
Thank you. Look at you. You aren't that tired. All right. Yes. Now the box is finally clear. These penalty box timers have been keeping busy tonight, and Little Miss Savage in for another 4 points. Now up to 12 points, but another Pixie blocker back into the box. The box was only empty for about 5 seconds, so someone else was back in.
Yes, unfortunately, that was Hell on Wheels, who was their main offense. So let's see if Little Miss Savage can get through on her own.
And a cut on Powerhouse. Will that make Powerhouse? What will that put up for penalties for Powerhouse?
That just fouled out Powerhouse. Second player of the game has officially fouled out there. And I think that was the natural end to the jam there at 2 minutes.
I believe so, yep.
Yes, that was 14 points for Pixies and 4 points for Philly, bringing our score up 261 Philly, 150 Pixies. And again, the second player just fouled out. Smashiopia from the Pixies fouled out earlier. And now, Smashiopia from Philly fouled out earlier. And now Powerhouse from Pixies is out of the game.
And usually
a timeout.
Well, that is to replace, since Powerhouse has been, they have to replace him in the box.
Yes.
And what happens is, as you know, there is a parent chaperone for each team, and Powerhouse will now have to go sit with that parent.
Yes,
and take off their gear.
I know what happens when you foul out.
Do you know that?
Personally?
Oh.
Yes.
Whoa.
Lots of experience with that.
I have to tell you, neither one of my kids have ever fouled out of a game. They play
not
clean.
Me.
They play
My
clean.
team can attest to that. I'm not proud of it. But anyways,
it's easy to get penalties. Cuts are very easy to get.
You know what? There's a reason I am here at Nationals announcing and not skating.
Yeah, only 6 teams get the honor. Did you know before COVID, it used to be 12 teams got to come to champs?
Lucky.
I wish it would go back to being 12 teams.
Yes,
it would be so much more fun.
I kind of feel the same for the female teams. There's only 4 here. I kind of feel like there should be more than that.
I think they could do 8 for them, 12 for 12. But actually, there's not that many female teams, so 4 is actually not that unfair.
Oh. Most play co-ed.
Yeah, most teams, most programs have a open team and often don't have a female division team.
Yes. Okay, coming back to it, the game, because it's back on now. Who knew? We got Tenacious K going for Philly and Gold Rusher for Pixies.
And Gold. So Gold Rusher's trying to waste time because he knocked out the Philly jammer, but there's no point in her. She doesn't need to skate.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to win. And you know what? I want to tell you something. He was sitting there looking like, oh, what? She's not going back in. She doesn't have to go back in. So him getting mad and getting pissed getting upset with the refs doesn't work, because if he knocked her out, she can stand on the inside as long as she wants.
Really?
Do you not know this rule?
I thought there would be a skating out of bounds rule.
No, because she's not skating.
Illegal position.
Nope, she's not skating.
I thought it was like kind of being out of play on the track. Like you can be there for a minute, but then you got to get back and play.
Because you're not in play, because you're off the track. Anybody, jammers and blockers, if you get knocked out, there's no rule that you have to go back in.
That is some good insight.
You can just sit there. Most of the time, it would be bad. It would not be good not to go back in.
Yes.
Because you need to be out there helping your team. But there is not a rule saying you can stand there on the inside as long as you want. Well, at least till the jam is over. And we've been on, Power Jam.
And a star pass.
And there's been a star pass for Philly. So definitely.
Yeah,
and Steampunk taking over for Philly. I love that name too, Steampunk. Oof.
Ooh, hard hit.
That was brutal beauty. And like I said, she is a force to be reckoned with. I've been watching her block all day, and she's incredible.
Yes. Oof. And our Power Jam has ended. Gold Rusher back on the track, plowing people over.
And just wanting to hurt. Boy, just stopping and trying to hurt the jammer, but she jukes around him.
But he's coming back, and he drives her out of bounds. Both jammers now on their first scoring pass with only 10 seconds left.
Wow, this has been a really crazy jam. And a Pixies blocker coming back in, skating around the whole track. I don't know why, but coming back in, skating around that entire track. And the jam comes to its natural end.
Yes, Steampunk did pick up 4 points there for Philly. for Philly, and it looks like Pixies picked up 3 on that jam. Okay, some fun penalty news for that jam. So you all know we've had 2 players foul out, right? 1 from each team.
Yep.
We now have 2 Pixies sitting at 6 penalties, and a Philly sitting at 5 penalties. So with only 3 minutes left in the game, we don't know if they're going to foul out, but I could see another player or 2.
Yeah, I don't think the person with 5 will probably foul out, but I can see one, especially with having such a thin
Yes,
bench.
and that is Hell on Wheels sitting at 6 for the Pixies, and number 26, Sugar and Spite, a blocker from the Pixies, also sitting at 6.
I love that name, though, Sugar and Spite. I think
That's
that's
a
the
fun
best
one.
derby name. I love that derby name.
And
It
it
is
looks like-
adorable.
Yes, a timeout, you guys. Another timeout. Yay. It's a team timeout from the Pixies, so not too bad. We'll be over in 30 seconds. And it gave us a chance to talk about penalties. So, all is good in the world. This is really random, but there's 3 minutes and 33 seconds left on the game clock. That's kind of fun. If you can't tell.
If it was 11-11, it would be good luck, right?
Yes. Yeah. Our score is Philly 265, Pixies 153. So Philly has this game in the bag. So quick run over for the games coming up here. That means that our Pixies will next be playing at 12 p.m. Mountain Time tomorrow for 3rd place, and the Philly will next be playing tomorrow at 4 p.m. Mountain Time for 1st place. Took me a minute to read the sheet and get that for you, but always good information to know while you're all here and listening. And Ginger, is this your jam or is this mine?
Think it's mine.
Do you?
What do you think?
I don't know, but you can have it.
Okay. All right, then. Here we go. We have got Karma up for Pixies, and up for Philly, we have Nia Callahan. And Nia is out for lead jammer. And a Philly blocker going to the box. And Nia just skating really fast, but getting knocked out and jumping back in before they can recycle her back too far. Yeah. And we've got more blockers getting up to 5, but at the end of the game, that's not uncommon. But we've got our Philly blocker in the box. He's now at 5. Ooh, and another penalty for number 13 from the Pixies.
Yeah, that is another player
That's
at
Glitter
5.
Bomb.
We have 3 players at 5 penalties and 2 at 6 right now.
Woo. This has been a penalty-heavy game, unfortunately. I don't like seeing it because it means...
There's liable for people to be getting hurt.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like that.
Yeah.
But Nia's still here with the lead. Karma's still being held up by that Philly wall. Karma is working, getting close to me. I'm watching, getting close to it, blocking with the head. It could be called any moment now. It's not yet.
Callahan is just stuck behind that Philly tripod, not letting Karma go anywhere, and Nia's just getting hit out and run back over and over again. Again, we're talking about penalties because not much is happening on the pack.
Yeah, and Karma is getting her head so low.
Yes.
But since there's no contact with the head, they are not getting called on that.
Yes. This is possibly the longest stalemate I've seen in a long time, but it is about to break because a no pack is about to be called. And there it is, maybe? This is an interesting game, you guys.
Wow. Karma now finally out of the pack after had a minute and 45 seconds.
Wow.
Wow. That is a really long time to be held. And I'm hearing another whistle and another penalty. And that's Gold Rusher going to the box. See where that takes him.
To 5 penalties.
Yeah.
Oof. Oh.
But there's only a minute and a half left in the game.
Yes.
I don't really think anyone else will foul out.
Yes, this is an interesting game, you guys. We're all tired. We're all kind of off our rocker because of the timeouts and everything, and it shows in the playing. But you know what? There's a minute and 15 seconds left in the game, so this next jam will likely be the last jam, so we're just going to go for it. We got 3 players sitting at 6 and 3 players sitting at 5 here penalties, so let's see if someone fouls out in this last jam when a timeout is called. An official timeout. So it could go forever.
With a minute left on the clock, this may be our last jam of the night.
I'm hearing our house announcers. Yes, let's hope it's the last jam of the night. We
want to
hoping
go.
that.
I love Derby. I also love going to bed. And this game honestly should have been over 45 minutes ago.
Yeah.
It's okay though. No, longer. I think this game was supposed to start at this game was supposed to start at 7 p.m. and it is now 9:45. So
yeah,
this
typically
is
a 7
rough.
o'clock game would be done by about 8:30, 8:45 max.
Yes, this is rough. Anyways,
I
that's
hate
the
that you just told me what time it was. Jeez.
that
Okay.
is the end of this jam here, or the end of the timeout. Starting this next jam, we have Little Miss Savage jamming for the Pixies, going up against someone starting with 3.
That's Bee Sting.
Bee Sting, thank you. Bee Sting for Philly. Little Miss Savage fighting a tripod at the front of the pack. Again, getting very low. I would be worried about the head blocks, but you know what? These players are pulling it off, so what do we know, right? Looks like Bee Sting gets hit out in between the jam and pivot line and run back by Hell on Wheels 188. 188, Hell on Wheels just got a penalty, and he has fouled out of the game.
Oh, my gosh.
Little Miss Savage gets lead jammer. Finally coming out of the pack almost 35 seconds in. Again, you guys may be thinking, you guys are not talking about very much what's going on the track. That's because there's not a lot. These guys are exhausted, and they're moving like their wheels have been dipped in glue. There goes Bee Sting. It takes the star off of the head to, I don't know, confuse the blockers. It works. And Bee Sting is now on their first scoring pass. 10 seconds left on the period clock. This should be the last jam of the game, thank God.
Do you know how early I have to get up in the morning? Because I am announcing the 8 a.m. game, and
I
I am an hour away.
Too.
But I'm an hour drive away.
I'm 15 minutes.
So I beat you.
Yes.
I win.
Yes.
Actually, I lose.
Yes. Game clock is out.
Thank God.
45 seconds left on the jam clock. Both jammers are stuck on their initial pass. If you can see on the live stream, our blockers are literally lined up at the edge of the track. They are ready to go home. Bee Sting gets hit out and run back again. Little Miss Savage still stuck in a tripod. Another Philly blocker is in the box. Not one of the ones about
And
to
she's
foul out.
crossing her legs, laughing because this has been comical almost.
She is reclining in the box. She has her arms up over the
She's
armrest.
enjoying her 30
Legs
seconds.
kicked out and crossed. Oh, and here comes Little Miss Savage. Makes it through the pack for the first points of the jam with 10 seconds left. That is 4 points for the Pixies. Can Little Miss Savage get another bunch? Looks like
Whoa, here we go.
Gold
And
Rush tries to whip them, but they just fall.
that's
And
the final
end of the jam.
whistle.
What a game, you guys. That was rough. But you know
Wow.
what? We all made it. And honestly, everyone on this track played amazingly. We joke, but you know what? They did a crazy good, especially for a game that lasted over 2 hours with a 45-minute break in the middle. I cannot talk about the character strength that these blockers and jammers have, and physical strength too, because it was also entertaining. But I don't know if you guys can hear much over the
that
mics.
whistle makes this official.
Yeah.
Final score, 273 Philly, going into the championship game tomorrow at 4 o'clock Mountain Time. Pixies at 161.
Yes, and I don't know if you guys can hear in the venue, but there's not much cheering. Couple half-hearted whoops and claps, but everyone, players included, are exhausted. And yes, we wrapped up that game. There was 34 penalties for Philly and 44 penalties for Pixies. That was a rough game.
Wow.
Yes, and it does look like Pixies are ending with like 8 people playing.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening.
Yes.
Again, first game tomorrow, 8 a.m. Mountain Time.
Yes, that is going to be Pittsburgh versus Columbia.
And I love both those teams. They're awesome. I love all the players of both those teams. Great
Yes.
kids, great families. It'll be a fun game to watch tomorrow. A little less pressure because
Yes.
honestly, the championship is gone. So hopefully they just come and have fun.
Yes, and again, one more official placement. Pixies will be playing Des Moines tomorrow at 12 a.m. Mountain Time, playing for third place.
12 p.m. Mountain Time.
Thank you. 12 p.m. Mountain Time, playing for third place. And Philadelphia will be playing against FOCO at 4 p.m. Mountain Time for first place. The 4th year in a row that FOCO has faced off with Philly for the championship. All right, guys, thank you for sticking through that game. That was a wild one. I
Yeah.
hope you all have an amazing night, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow.
Ginger Spice signing off.
And Pinky Crusher over and out.